Hello, my darlings. We're going to be looking at commitment, the big C word, and how it is vital for living a life of alignment and a life of aliveness and eros and a life of absolute possibility and devotion to that which is who we are. Essentially, everything that I am offering to you with these videos is absolutely and utterly about how can you live who you are without apology, without excuse, without having to squish down or contract or change your shape in any way or form. So I love looking at the meaning of words, the etymology of words. It's one of my favorite things to do. And commitment comes from the Latin and it has several meanings. One of them being to give in charge. It also means to entrust and it means to unite or to bring together. So the question is, what is it that we are bringing together? What is it that is being entrusted in us? What is it that we are in charge of when we think about or indeed want to explore commitment in our own lives? So for me, being committed means bringing together or combining or entrusting all of the things that matter to us. And in the way that I work in the creative genius, in the coaching work, and also in my own explorations in my creative life, this is about bringing together everything that I value, everything that turns me on, everything that makes me feel alive. It's about bringing all of these aspects of myself, my skills, my understandings, my wisdom, in service to perhaps my bigger vision, this bigger sense of context for the life that I want to live and how I want to live it, which will include everything from the business that we're running to the relationships that we're in, to how we raise our families, to how we belong as part of a society, how we contribute in service to the world. So, my question for you right now, and one maybe for you to just to let ripple in and do its magic inside of you, is to ask yourself, what am I committed to? What am I committed to? Really, truly, what do I think I'm committed to? Because actually, when we start to explore this, and we're going to go into this a little bit, we will probably find that there's a little bit of misalignment between what we think we're committed to and what we actually are. And I've been having a real journey around commitment recently, hence why I wanted to offer something or some of my musings and understandings around my own personal journey with commitment. So for me, I think I've kind of been a little bit resistant. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot to commitment, to being committed to something. And of course, that doesn't mean that I've never been committed to things in life. Of course, I've been committed to work that I've done. I've committed to my friendships. I've been committed to certain projects or things that I've had to do. Of course, that commitment is there. But on another level, there has been this kind of shadow, very teenager, actually, very teenage energy, resistance or rebellion towards commitment. And for myself, this has been very much because I've always, or I used to think that if I was committed, that would mean it would take away my freedom. And the bodily sense I used to have towards commitment was this state of being suffocated, actually. This real, like, oh, there's no room, there's no breath, there's no air, there's no space. I'm going to be like tied, I'm going to be imprisoned. And of course, then my reaction to that is to go, I'm not going to commit to anything because I want to protect my sense of freedom. However, what I have learned and really kind of understand now is that this isn't actually the case. Ironically, avoiding commitment means that I have avoided real, true freedom in life. I don't know, maybe this resonates with you as well. What is your relationship to commitment in your life? What I'm beginning to understand is that true commitment, which I like to imagine this as a tree with really deep, thick, beautiful roots that are reaching down into that solid, dark, firm earth, and then they're spreading out even further. Because of that commitment the tree has to the earth through its roots, which are unseen, the tree is able to grow solid, large, and as the tree grows, so do its branches. And then because its roots are strong, the branches are then able to spread out and expand, creating these beautiful canopies. And then, of course, on these branches, depending on what the tree is, you're going to get the leaves, you're going to get buds, you're going to get flowers, you're going to possibly get fruits. And with that, you're contributing to others. And also, the roots themselves are being nourished. The tree is only able to expand and grow and bear fruit and gift because it is being nourished by the earth. It's taking in from the earth, it's receiving from the earth. There's a reciprocal relationship going on. And of course, at some point when the leaves fall, when fruits fall, when things, as all seasons have, when things begin to return back to the earth, that then composts and gives its own treasures to continue the cycle over and over again. So in a way, commitment is part of how we contribute to the world. So what does this have to do with freedom? This is what I've always been curious about. So I'll tell you I'll share a little something with you here. So this exploration around commitment and these new realizations I've had around this are pretty new, actually. And a few weeks ago, I was sat with a friend who's also a coach, and we had big pieces of paper and we had markers, and we were having a session together, mind mapping and exploring things of where we are. And I happened to mention to her that I've always avoided and have been kind of a bit like, how do people do that? When people have planned business wise for their next year ahead, for the year after, things are in the diary, dates are booked. I've always had this kind of like, oh, a kind of fear resistance to doing that because it's felt like that will mean it will tie me down to something. Or what if I don't want to be doing that and offering that at that point? What if I'm not here? What if it stops me from having another kind of adventure? So I've never done it. And so we started to explore that. And she asked me about where am I committed in my life? And I started to give some examples. And then the one that really has changed things for me was speaking about my relationship, my beautiful relationship with my dear beloved. And as well as this being for me, probably one of the biggest practices, my spiritual practice over the last 18 months, I realized that this is probably the most committed relationship I've ever had, intimate wise, romantic wise. And part of that feeling of commitment is a sense of deep trust, deep loyalty. And it's because we've intentionally given ourselves freedom to have as much space as we want to go off and do whatever we want to. And we're together, we're monogamous, that's our choice. And it's quite extraordinary in that there is a massive amount of space and a massive amount of freedom and expansion. And literally kind of the opposite to how I used to feel about commitment. Remember feeling like this. I just feel like, oh, my body can move. There's breath, there's delight, there's spaciousness. And in a way, the deeper this commitment, the more freedom that there is. So, as with many things in life, freedom and commitment go together. They're these paradox of life. So, that realization for me has kind of rippled out in so many ways. And in one of the ways is about how I've approached my business, The Creative Genius, which I 100%, million percent believe in, passionate about, see the magic working all the time. And I'm really living that, the life that I speak about, making life art life, finding the aliveness, seeking the pleasure, invoking and inviting eros into every moment. And I will do a video explaining what eros is. So this resistance that I had, this belief that I had, has begun to dissolve. But it is interesting, isn't it? Because with that commitment, with anything that we commit to, part of the resistance, part of the fear is in if we commit to something, if we bring both feet into something, there is a risk. It's part of the risk of truly living. It's part of the risk of truly letting ourselves feel everything. It's part of the risk of caring. Commitment and care go together. It's part of the risk of trusting. And that risk is of being disappointed, of being hurt, of having our heart broken, of experiencing grief. All of the things that, as humans of sensitive, delicate, bizarre human beings that we are, we seek to avoid because we don't want to feel those feelings. And yet, when we seek to avoid commitment because of that, we then also lose out on the beauty of commitment, the wisdom, the joys of commitment, which is deeper joy, deeper freedom, deeper expansion, deeper playfulness, deeper feelings of being alive, to the whole experience of being a human being, deeper exploration of who we are, deeper intimacy, pleasure, all of that which makes everything worthwhile, which makes that possibility of getting hurt, of being disappointed, of being let down, of failing, of things not working out how we'd hoped, worth it. We have to risk. We have to risk the commitment. One of the big things that I realized that commitment gives is trust. So another way that I'm wanting to play with commitment, and why I wanted to create this video quite early on in coming back to doing my videos again, is because I realized this pattern or blueprint I have as playing out across everything. And that for me is going in, all in for a while, and then disappearing. All in, disappearing. Now, that will never build trust. It can't. The thing about commitment is it gives trust. It builds trust. It builds a respect, a loyalty. There's a consistency there. Commitment actually is part of the structure of our lives. And if you imagine the structure like a frame of a painting, the bit in the middle, the painting itself, is all of life's possibilities. It's the flow, it's the aliveness, it's spirit, it's expression, it's everything. And the structure creates a safe container to bear this life force. Structure and commitment go hand in hand. It's looking at the word a little bit differently to how we think we might see commitment. And what this creates, as I say, and this is the vital thing, and the bit that I have missed in my life, is safety. Commitment builds safety. And more than ever, we need to feel the sense of safety from within. How many of us, and I put both my hands up, but I put all my hands up, look or have looked for safety outside of ourselves? Does that work? Hell no, because life has changed. That's the whole bloody point. But we need safety. Our nervous systems need safety because it nourishes us. And if we are nourished at our nervous system level, that's the foundation that I was talking about before with the tree. We have the safety, not to have to worry about that and keep focusing on that and be anxious about that we don't ever kind of look up above that earth line. It allows us the safety to play out in the world, in relationship with whomever or whatever that might be. So one of the things about commitment is the allowing of ourselves to change our minds. Just like life is unpredictable and will change our plans, we can, in that field of commitment, shift things, change the shape, go in a slightly different direction, but it's all held within the structure and frame of commitment. If we are committed to our vision, to our value, to our ideals, then we will keep coming back. It gives us something to keep coming back. So for me, I have made this promise because commitment for me feels like a promise to myself. It feels like, as I say, a respect to myself to show up and come back to one of the things that I really enjoy doing, which is making these videos, to sharing with you some of the ways in which these aspects of life can support us in living a full creative life, to being our own creative genius, to living that life of Eros. And I will be exploring more about this in the upcoming The Erotic Key 8-week online program that is starting on September the 13th. So if you're interested in that, there will be a link somewhere, maybe below this video. Certainly my website, I'll put that in, that you can explore more about that and see if that fits for you and you want to come on board and have a 2-month journey looking at all these different aspects of what I call Eros and how they play out in your own life. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be really extraordinary. So my commitment to creating videos, to creating stories, articles, spoken word, all of this is what I have said yes to. Is that going to be easy? No. Will I have to remind myself to what it is I'm in commitment to? Absolutely. Have I had to do that already? Literally within the first week? Hell yes. And I will come back again. And I will come back again. Tending to and holding and facing all of those things which are always threatened, that sense of commitment. Because actually what it does is it does bring us together, that sense of unity, that sense of connection. So all the stories that play out, all the doubts, all the fears are part of how we separate ourselves. And we will do it over and over again because it's part of the human dance. What are you committed to? Are you committed to that which you say you're committed to that which you believe in, to that which you offer out in your work? Or are you committed to the stories? Are you committed to hiding? Are you committed to staying small and contracted? Are you committed to what feels familiar to you rather than taking that risk, facing and holding that fear, which I will also intending to do a video on, it's a big one there, and going, fuck it. I'm just going to go in anyway, not knowing what's going to happen. Gabrielle Roth, the creator of 5 Rhythms, and I have this quote in my room, says that in order to be a free spirit, it takes discipline. And I've had that literally drawn on a chalkboard as a quote in my living room for years. And it's only now that I really, really understand that. Commitment, excuse me, commitment is not a dirty word. Commitment is simply creating a structure that keeps you safe to be who you are, to play out into the world and experience everything. Commitment means that you don't betray yourself by turning away over and over again to that which you know in every single part of you is your alignment to life, is your contribution to the world, whatever that looks like. So, my darling, I am going to leave this here with you, but I'd really love to know your thoughts on this, your thoughts around commitment. If anything that I've shared with you has made you question anything or made you realize anything. And also, I'm going to leave you with a little tool or a little inquiry to move out into the world with, is become aware of what you say. Our words are so powerful. That's why I'm a storyteller, and I believe in the power and the magic of words. Are you committed to your words? So when you say something or share something, is it true? And if not, honor that. And it's okay to go, do you know what? I'm actually committed to the bullshit going on in my brain rather than what I thought I was committed to. Because the first step in any kind of shift in life is the awareness of, with great kindness, to hold that awareness of. It's okay. You know what? We can be committed to both that which is pulling us away and that which is who we are. I can be committed to my inner teenager, and I can be committed to the adult woman, that who I am. The teenager part has a lot to give. What you're resistant to has a lot of power in it. Don't seek to fix it or throw it away. So I hope that was useful for you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't done. It would be amazing if you shared this as well. And I hope you have a beautiful day. And my deep wish for you is you find that which you're committed to and allow that journey to flow, because it will be a journey. Take care, my darlings. Mwah.